Welcome, moviegoers. How are we doing? Good, good. Do you have your ticket? All right, what do we have? Real Swell. Good choice, good choice. You're going to be in Auditorium 30, straight ahead and to the right. Enjoy. Love Hurts came out today, starring Ki Hui Kwan and Ariana DeBose. It's about a seemingly unassuming realtor who it's discovered has a previous life of being a sort of hitman, fixer, John Wick type for his brother's crime family. The movie has a lot of action, has a lot of fight scenes in it. Maybe if you've seen the trailer, it's very reminiscent of the old Jackie Chan movies and a lot of the physical martial arts and fighting style that he had in his films, which in this movie is done pretty well. The choreography, even if at times you could tell it was being choreographed. Otherwise, though, it was very hard hitting. The martial arts in the movie, you could tell that they did practice and learn how to perform these moves. Now, unfortunately, that's where my good things to say about this movie kind of end. Um, the story, it's very generic, honestly. We've seen it dozens upon dozens of times. The plot is very choppy. There are probably four movies within this movie, and this movie's only an hour and 35 minutes. Yet they decided to throw in four or five storylines that didn't really connect. I mean, they connected tangentially, but you could tell from one cut to the other, from one scene to the next, that they were beginning the next storyline. And then they would stop that plot and then begin a new one in the next scene. And it wasn't even like a fade to black either or any kind of transition. It was just cut. And then we're somewhere else with different characters continuing the last time we saw them. The characters, aside from the two main actors, each of the characters, they were unique in that they had personalities, but they didn't really enhance the story. They were just there, either to be comedic relief or to be the message of the movie. And it was very telegraphed which role each of those characters played. The movie is very surface level in its storytelling. There's a lot of exposition in this movie. A lot. And a lot of that exposition is voiceover exposition. Throughout the movie, there's voiceover exposition. It's like diary entries from each of the characters. And it was very strange that they didn't just put that in the movie. A lot of these characters in their voiceover gave substance to what was happening. And by substance, I mean backstory, context. But it would have made the movie better if we could see those things. Show, don't tell. They told a lot in this movie. The conflict was very contrived. there were two quote unquote antagonists, and three if you count the metaphorical antagonist of confronting your past and moving past it, which again was exposition told to us. There were a lot of gratuitous, what's the phrase I'm looking for? They beat you over the head with what they want you to be thinking during a scene. It would be more understandable if they told you how to feel, but they wanted us to make sure we understood what the characters were doing and why they were doing it. It's very strange. Instead of just having the characters live in the movie, they kind of broke the fourth wall to make sure we stayed on track, as if it understood, as if the script understood there wasn't much there, so they just had to tell us. It was very strange. Now it's February, so in February and in January specifically, the beginning of the year, movies, the caliber of movie isn't very high. And that's just the nature of the business. However, I think I was expecting more out of this movie, given Ke Huy Quan and his role in Everywhere Always All at Once. I think that's what it was called. He did pretty good in that movie. But I thought it could have been better. Like, there was a lot for them to explore. There were a lot of themes that were introduced, and I don't think they were introduced intentionally. That's also kind of weird. Like, the script had a lot in it, but they didn't take advantage of it. I wish they had. It isn't even fun. Like, all of the physical comedy with the fight scenes, they were very gratuitous, but it was basically showing off the technical skill of the choreographer and how well they were able to learn all of the moves. The movie went on for too long, even though it was a fairly short movie. When I say short, an hour and a half is now short. We're used to 2.5 hour, 3 hour movies at this point. I would say between an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours is where you can really have a script that is impactful to the audience while also exploring all of the things in your script. And this movie wasn't able to take advantage of the actors they had, the script that was there, and the themes that they wanted to introduce. It's supposed to be a Valentine's Day movie, and there is a love story intertwined with all the other stories that the movie has, but it fell flat too. The movie, I don't want to say it's bad, but it isn't good. I'll say that. I don't know if I would care to see this movie again. In fact, if once it does hit streaming services, I'm sure I won't see it again. But That's all I have for you today, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for coming to tonight's screening of Real Swell. As you head out, I've got three things to ask of you. One, pick up your trash. These ushers don't get paid enough. Two, make sure you follow so you don't miss the next screening. And three, tap that heart for me. Come back next week where we'll be talking about Captain America Brave New World. Make sure you've got your ticket.